Welcome back again to Joe Stunner Boxing. We got a little bit of an upset, I suppose you'd call it, an upset. Roiman Villa of Colombia wins a majority decision over the previously undefeated Rashidi Ellis. This was a welterweight fight. It was an IBF eliminator. We know who's got the IBF belt. At welterweight, of course, it is Errol Spence. Thank God Rashidi Ellis wasn't in with Errol Spence because he'd have got smashed to bits, and he almost got smashed to bits by Roiman Villa, who, I mean, for the first 8 rounds, Ellis he's got that flash and dash, wide stance. He's an orthodox fighter, very fast hands. Guard tends to be a bit low, likes to almost tempt fate by trying to draw the lead and then counter. And he was just simply outworking and outlanding Roiman Villa for pretty much for the first 8 rounds, I'd say. I mean, I don't think he won all of the first 8 rounds. But there was an interesting little cameo in, I think it was the second or third, where Ellis was in the corner and Villa landed a left hook to the body, and Ellis fired and landed a flush left hook of his own to the chin or the side of the head of Villa. And Villa didn't go anywhere. He didn't even budge. And I remember thinking, watching the fight live, that's a good tactic by Villa. He now knows I don't want to be taking punches unnecessarily, but he now knows he can take the power of Ellis. Ellis has got did have 24 wins. He's now got was undefeated. He's now got a defeat. But of his 24 wins, 15 are by knockout, and it was pretty evident that he wasn't able to really hurt Villa. And Villa was working that body early, or trying to. And Villa was not having a great deal of success. He started a little bit tentatively. He admitted actually in the after fight, the post fight interview, that he wasn't quite on it as he should have been. But over 12 rounds, and this wasn't eliminated, it was a 12 rounder. That's a long time to keep a guy off you who's tough, who you can't really hurt. And so it proved, because even though I thought Ellis won most of the first 8 rounds, in the 9th, it was very noticeable that Villa suddenly got close and was hurting Rashidi Ellis, who was tiring quite badly. The thing about that, high sort of frenetic, an awful lot of punches thrown, a lot of movement, it's kind of wasted energy a lot of the time. And it will tire you out over the 36 minutes. And Villa was able to catch up with Ellis. And like I say, in the 9th round, he was beginning to sting him quite badly. And this continued in the 10th. Certainly the 11th was a Villa round. And then it all unravelled for Ellis in the final round, because a huge left hook put him flat on the mat, on his back. And he looked fatigued at this point, and he looked stunned. His eyes were clear, but his legs didn't seem to want to operate as they should have done. And just before the start of the 12th round, Roiman Villa's corner said, "You got to knock him out." So he had, I don't know, after the knockdown, he probably had a minute and a half, 2 minutes left. He tore after Ellis. Villa's engine is clearly very, very good, as well as he's got a good chin as well. And he was landing the very, very much the hurtful punches. Ellis was still trying to fight back. His discretion the better part of valor at that point. That was obviously going to be a 10-8 round, unless he really put it on Villa. He just didn't have the energy or the wherewithal to do that. And then right at the end of the round, with about 2 seconds to go, maybe, there was, let me get this right, both were orthodox fighters. From Villa, there was a left hook that landed, but it was a sort of swooping overhand right that caught Ellis on the side of the head and put him over with literally 1 or 2 seconds to go, and the ref counted it, and that made it a 10-7 round. And that was the difference. I mean, Ellis, had this been an old 15-rounder, Ellis wouldn't have got out of it. But he just about survived the 12 rounds. And the weird thing is, if you look at all the early rounds, you could probably say that you could say, well, Rashidi Ellis might have even edged the fight. But there was a kind of a little bit of poetic justice there, because Villa was so dogged, so determined, and just would not quit, and was landing some good little individual punches. Even in the rounds he was losing, there was some decent body work. And I was kind of surprised, a bit surprised to hear that he won the fight, but also quite glad, because I thought overall even though he pretty much only dominated 1/3 of the fight, which was the last third, he really put it on Ellis. So well done to Roiman Villa. A bit of an upset. The guy's got 26 wins now. with 24 knockouts, only 1 defeat on points. This guy he's a threat, and I wasn't very familiar with him. You know, in the past, I mean, I'd seen Ellis before, and I've always thought, you've got it all to prove, because that flash and dash, high energy sort of style, it's not something I particularly like. You know, it's sort of poor man's Meldrick Taylor stuff in it, really, and in this case, perhaps more of an Eddie Hobson than Meldrick Taylor. But yeah, I thought, no, I definitely thought Villa deserved the win, kind of in a poetic sort of way. You know, you can make a case for Ellis winning it, but now I'm kind of glad that Villa won it. And yeah, you know, it was a good fight. I was kind of one-sided for the first 8 rounds, and then the last third really took off. So did you see it? What did you think? Who did you think won? Did you think Ellis hung on with enough points to pinch it? Or were you glad Villa got the decision? Leave your comments below and I'll give them a read and answer them. Thanks as always for listening, for giving up your time to watch this video. Like the video if you liked it. Hit the subscribe button and we'll speak again soon. And of course, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.